Hi everyone, the Ball Dev is here from Ananta Studio. Well, we have been developing the games for some time and we struggled with animations a lot, with pipelines specifically. It's like we have a lot of like motion capture, we have different animations from different sources, and sometimes we just really lack the tools to make them like better, to clean them up, to adjust them how we need them. Motion capture specifically like produces quite a lot of things that require a lot of cleaning, moving the root bone around, etc. So sometimes you just want to mirror the animations pretty well. Sometimes you want to have some automation that you don't spend the entire day for manually lining things up. So this is what we have built. It's the ultimate toolkit for the animations, not only the motion capture, but it can be useful for a bunch of other stuff. So, before I begin to jumping to the Unreal Engine itself, I just wanted to tell that there's going to be a link in the description to the documentation of the plugin. So it covers everything that you can imagine, probably, but if it doesn't cover something, so go ahead and let us know. All the features, they are here covered in the details, and eventually we will add like shorter videos explaining them. Plus, it gives you explanation of like certain workflows you can try to make with that as an example. Also, the plugin is done on C++ and it exposes the API to blueprints, obviously to C++ and to Python as well. So if you want to script it around at the editor runtime, so not the actual game runtime, but at the editor level, so you can absolutely do that. Okay, so as I said, the link is going to be in the description, and let's jump into the plugin itself. So first of all, the plugin has two mental models here. First is that you can work with that via content browser. So like you can make all the actions on one or multiple assets at the same time, pressing right click, going to TakeForge and doing everything that you can from here. It supports batch processing, so therefore you can do like a bunch of stuff for all the assets. So it's extremely friendly for batch processing. It is also extremely fast. So we try to, for example, retarget multiple assets, and it's done like in a second or so. So I mean, obviously, if you have like 500, it may take a little longer, but you can always like batch them together in the smaller batches. So another part is when you actually go to the asset itself. So there is a TakeForge on the toolbar if it's not in your persona on the right as the tab, but this is what it's supposed to look like. If it's not here, just again press here, it will appear. So this one, this tab will appear for every single animation asset that you're using. It will preserve the state, etc. And all the tools are here, so you can switch between different layout modes if you prefer compact or a little bit more detailed. And there's a bunch of things that let me cover what they are, and I will press a few of them to show you the capabilities of the thing. So we have root motion, so you can clean up the motion capture or any other animation, for example, from Mixamo that is lacking the root movement. Or root motion altogether. For example, this animation, it is taken from the actor, and this is like a motion capture. So the root bone stays exactly here because it's like was not like it's not recorded when you do the motion capture. So, but you want to move that because you want to move your capsule around or something. So like it's usually kind of like needed really. So there are tools for that. So you can match the root motion with pelvis or whatever bone you prefer. You can make it smooth. So for example, if you don't like how jittery that is, because pelvis is not perfectly moving, so it may be jumping here back and forth. So you can also do the smooth one, or you can just transform the animation to the in place altogether. Let me press the buttons here real quick so that you can see what it's like. So here is the animation, how it is. This one is going to be extracted as the root. So we can also go into the animation and have the visualization for the trajectory, so you can actually see that the root motion added. So you can smooth that using the smooth root motion, no problem at all. You can retarget. You can retarget to different assets, to different skeletons, and you have two modes how you can do that. For example, using the skeleton assets, how you usually do in Unreal Engine, or just select the IK retargeter, so it will work. All that will be preserved. There is post-process that you can do to the assets, and it is very easy to use. And the coolest part that you do not need to search for different animations every time you want to retarget something. So if you go to the retarget animations normally in Unreal, so you will select the skeleton that you need to go for, but then you need to look for the animations here, and it doesn't matter what animations you clicked on, so you still need to go through. So the plugin at least solves that for you. So like you can, as I said, like the batch processing, so you can do that, go to the TakeForge and retarget takes, select the asset, and it will preserve the last used one, and just retarget, one click, 1 second, and it's done. So you can see like all of them are here. So coming to other stuff, so there is cut and assemble. There is a bunch of stuff you can do about that. So you can move the playhead and use the quick buttons here. So there are shortcuts for trim and split ultimately. So you can remove a left or right part, depending what your playhead is. Or you can extract left or right side, so in a separate asset, which is also a very useful thing. You can absolutely do that. You can split it more detailed. For example, you can add the array of frames and extract at different timings from 0 to 40, from 40 to the very end of this, and it will create you multiple assets from those. For other useful stuff that you can use, there is a bunch of motion stuff. There is a preview root motion as a shortcut, a very handy one, so that allows you to move around how you show the root motion. So like toggles between in place, toggles between looped and repeated, or looped and reset. So you can check this, because usually you would need to go where, like animations, or yeah, here the animations, and ignore loop reset. It takes a while every time, so just click here fast. Another thing that I really enjoy using in this, sometimes you just need to mirror the animation, and the default pipeline is pretty cumbersome, so like you need to press a lot of buttons. Just one button here, apply, and it is mirrored to the other side. Simple as that. Same for the reverse. It is one click operation, and it actually reverses the animation, not just plays it backwards, but it would actually reverse it. There you go. So it is reversed. Let's cancel that. There is a loop in the best loop. So loop is a very fast way to loop something. So you would need to have a pretty good animation already that is like a good candidate for looping. You can check whether the animation is good for looping if you go to the check here, and it will tell you, hey, here is like a loop mismatch, meaning that it's a poor loop candidate because it's a large start and mismatch. So but what you can do is we can also show you how we can extract like a part of it. Let's go to the cut and assemble and extract left part. There we go. So now we have a separate animation here, and that might be a better candidate for the loop. Like it shows you the loop mismatch and everything, so you can try to trim and cut to adjust it better. So we're gonna open that and try to loop that. So there's a bunch of options you can try. Not all the animations are perfectly loopable, so but you can adjust and try your best. So let's just try and see how much of the loop we can get. So it is already better. It is not jumping as much. But one thing you can also do, just make sure you lock it in place. And there you go. You already have a much better loop animation. So let's add here somebody, so that we can see the loop a little bit better. So there we go. So we already have a better loop. So let's go back to the animation real quick. So we have a bunch of other stuff that is useful. Like, for example, you can see the trajectory here is not perfectly straight, and we may want to adjust that as well. Here's align travel tool. You can just adjust that, and it will automatically adjust the trajectory to the vector where the character is moving overall. So if you have a diagonal move, that is not intended, so you can absolutely change that. So then we have change of the origin. So in case if your root is not in a place where you want it to be, so you can absolutely change that here. So it's like very easy. It can also show you where your current position is at the start. So you can see I have a little shift. So you can fix that. There's a foot sync, which is adding automatically at the point of contact when the feet actually touch the ground. So it will place the markers where they're supposed to be there. And next thing is the footsteps. So this one is pretty useful because it allows you to automatically put the notifiers for the footsteps or whatever you need. So honestly, it just checks the foot contact and places the selected notifier. So for example, we can have the footstep. Okay, so footstep. There we go. Just one per foot, and we automatically place them. So it will automatically place it where it's needed. Okay, let's move to the next thing, foot lock. So this one is a pretty important one. So because some animations may have sliding, so this is what you need foot lock for. Pretty self-explanatory. You can play around with the numbers here to adjust it to your liking. So how subjectively how you perceive that. And then also another part is the ground. So this one allows you to snap your feet to the ground for the whole take or when the contact actually happens. So basically when the markers appear, we will have that. And I just really know that this animation needs it a little bit lower. So I will add an additional 0.5 centimeter shift beneath. There we go. So you can see it is pretty raised right now, so it's floating. So now we apply and we play the animation and it instantly looks. There we go. It is just where it's supposed to be. You can also adjust the motion here. You can retime it to a target speed, and it also determines how fast your character is technically jumping or whatnot. So you can retarget, so not retarget, you can change the speed. You can also speed ramp. Like for example, you can make a slow motion. Let's say that I want to have a jump in a slow motion manner. So it will be normal here, but then a little slower and then fast again. So you can have that, or you can speed it up the other way around. Then you can have the adjust. So you can work, for example, with the amplitude. I will show you the extent of it so that you understand where it is pushing the things. It is kind of similar to what you can have sometimes on Mixamo when it kind of exaggerates the animation quite a bit. So, I mean, obviously you don't want to have an animation done this exaggerated. So it's just example of what it can give you. Let's remove that, please. Bones section allows you to graft, isolate, and smooth bones. Grafting means that you will be able to add to a specific branch or branches of your skeleton different animations, and it will play at the same time. Isolation will remove something up to the target bone or above the target bone. So ultimately, either the branch that is below in the hierarchy or above. And smoothing, it will apply Gaussian smooth on the selected branches, which is also pretty useful if you want to make the animation smoother sometimes, if it's too jittery because of the capture or something like that. I'll show you the grafting real quick. So I will show you the animation. I have an animation for reloading, and let's say I will just slap it for the entire thing. One thing that I need to do here is to select at which bone I want to apply that. So let's say that I want to have clavicle left and clavicle right. And I'll hit apply. So see, this is what happens. So the animation plays the same, but I actually have a different animation playing on my clavicles. So, and you can add like multiple passes and add multiple animations, layer it how you want over here. Isolation will allow you to remove the movement altogether, as I said, before or after. So let's say that I want to move everything that is going after. Just adjusting this, like everything that is after spine 01 is completely like cleaned, right? So it's just not moving altogether. So you can do the other way around as well. Smoothing just will allow you to make it smoother in certain areas. Like let's say, for example, I want to have everything that is above spine 01, because this is where it's going to be applicable. We apply, and everything that is like spine 01 and above, it's like a little bit smoother, because the spine itself is smoother. So, but it applies to the particular bone. There is also a bunch of defaults here. These are ultimately the plugin settings, so you can add default options here, select how much of the smoothing you want when you apply smoothing root motion. You may default to creating new assets, or for example, adjust how the UI is working, whether you want to use confirmation every time or not. And you can configure the retargeter beforehand. So like if you want to have it already defaulted before you use it for the first time. So ultimately that covers everything it does. The documentation is much more detailed, so therefore I didn't really want to go in a lot of details for every single option that we have, because the documentation will cover everything and even more. One thing I would say though, if you have feedback, don't be a stranger. We are super open to listen out, and moreover, we want to bring new features. If you feel that something is missing or you want to have something differently, do not hesitate to contact us and give us feedback, so we will just work with the community, because it is for us, it is for the community. We want to make it better, that everybody can enjoy this and have this all-in-one kind of a tool that allows you to forge your takes. So yeah, there you go, and I hope that is helpful, and yeah, see you.